Continuing a tour of the towers, we are now in the Octagon Tower.
So we're here, Victoria, in what you said is the Octagon Tower. This is central to the west facade. And here we're in an area that the plan is quite complex. This really is the core of the original building, and a building that we know now predated the Coltsman and is quite possibly part of Drumhumper Castle, which is quite lost in history at this stage. But we have enough evidence, written and physical, that there was buildings here much earlier than, I guess, the recent and easy story was that John Coltsman built Flesk in around 1818. History is never that straightforward. You know, there was buildings here much, much earlier. For example, if you look at Jonathan Fisher's beautiful image overlooking the Lakes of Killarney from Lord Kenmare's Deer Park, and if you zoom in on that to Drumhumper Hill, you will see a building that is quite remarkably similar to the Octagon Tower here in the centre of the castle. Now, it has a gable type building off to the right, but the core of the building is very similar to the core of what we have here today. That painting was done in 1769, which is 50 years earlier than most people start the history of Flesk. So very interesting. Also, in the walls around us, there's walls here a metre thick. Some are obviously from a much older building, you know, and the research into that is ongoing. There's archaeology happening at the moment.
Okay, so the Octagon Tower, Carla, not only provides us with archaeological evidence, but it is also central to conservation works that are happening here over the last few years, which by themselves will ensure that the future of this building and its historic landscape and domain will be conserved going forward. Can you just talk to us a little bit about that?
Okay, yes, in various phases over the last years, and with grant assistance from the Department of Environment and Heritage, we've done a lot of work, some of which is largely unseen because it's up high, and we've stopped it raining internally. It used to rain internally when the water soaked through the roofs about maybe 15 or 20 minutes after it started raining. All the roofs, 400 square metres of the roofs have been recovered in asphalt, which was the same as what was there, had been put in 1912. That's all covered, so thankfully it doesn't rain inside anymore. And some of the features which were about to be lost on the roofscape, there's two on the front of this tower here, there's two beautiful turrets which disguise chimneys, and they sit on top of these beautiful limestone corbels. They have been conserved and partially rebuilt, some very complex work, beautiful original curved brick in those. So a lot of work, a lot of the Merlins up there have been rebuilt, a lot of recapping in limestone. So the basic stuff of stopping the water and keeping the building together, a lot of that has been done, which is great, because it's really up there where features that indicate the kind of character of the people who are building here, those features are saved now for the locals and for Killarney.
Yeah, and I suppose it was interesting in that work has, as you said, ensured that architectural fragments that remain within the building's interior are not lost at this stage, and that the rain that was pouring in through the building has now stopped. Getting back to that rain problem again, Carl.
Yes, look, we have a huge amount of masonry in walls here, and it does take a long time to dry out, and the roofs are an interesting one. The roofs that were put in 1912 are relatively modern, I guess we could say. They were concrete with steel, almost railway irons inside them. It's those roofs that actually saved the building. If they weren't there, if the original timber roofs had still been in place, I think the building would not be in a position where it would be, I'm not going to say it'll be easily saved, but it would be a different story.
But there's a positive future now, isn't there?
Oh, there is indeed, yeah. I mean, as we like to pretend sometimes, the spaces are here, it's easy from here on in, you know.
Very good. Thanks, Carl.